Well, Confederates try one last push to break the siege of Petersburg. They're going to attack Grant's right flank, and spoiler, it doesn't go so well for them. Looks like this war might be ending on Johnny's under of that 5-week date that we set. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I am Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, I think you might notice that my glass looks a little different this week. It is not beer. I have switched to whiskey. And normally, when I drink whiskey, it's out of frustration or
because you're angry because something bad's happened.
No, this is,
you have to yell. You're ready to yell. What are you mad about? What happened?
Happy whiskey, Johnny. This is happy, tasteful, blissful. I'm enjoying life whiskey. It's not champagne, so the war's not over. When you see the bottle of champagne, you know the war's over. But we are knocking on that doorstep. I know I've said it before. So now, I know I'll say it again. But we are there, Johnny. There.
That's great. A quick side concern. So you're now drinking whiskey for good news and for bad news and for toothaches. I assume. What is there? Is there an occasion now where you are not drinking whiskey?
Johnny, I feel like you
It's just a question.
Be looking at it's I don't know why we got like whiskey's delicious and it's fine and it's
sure
it's
no and that's fine and it's great
nobody.
Medicine too. I'm just you know
I got a lot of ailments, Johnny. I need it.
I hear you.
But
I'm just concerned because I think you're overdoing it. I think you might want to try some cocaine about it.
Cocaine.
I don't know if you've heard about this. It's one of those newer medications they're doing.
Yeah, you mix the cocaine in with the whiskey.
It's got some pretty good effects.
I heard it was pretty good. Johnny, let's get into it.
Everybody I know who has tried it can't stop trying it.
Can't stop trying it? It must mean it's really good. Super effective.
I just love it so much.
Yeah. This week's going to open up on March 24th with the Confederates preparing for an attack at Fort Stedman, which is the federal right flank at Petersburg. Their goal here is that if they break the siege line, they can threaten Grant's supply line to City Point and maybe get Grant to shorten up his siege lines and maybe get them to be able to break out of there and do something about the predicament that they are in.
It's a lot of maybes.
A lot of maybes. That assault does begin on the 25th, Johnny, in the wee earlies of the morning. Or morning hours at 3 a.m., so pretty much the night of the 24th. I mean, it's 3 a.m. still night.
Sure, like what, 3 a.m., 2 a.m.?
It's 3 a.m. Now, I know that's when I normally get up for work, but like most sane people don't get up that early.
I have been asleep for 2 to 3 hours at that point. That's the dead and middle of my sleep, which is, I guess, why that's a good time to attack, because if you're attacking me, guess what? I'm snoozing through it, pal.
So a couple of Confederate soldiers said that they are deserting from the Confederacy and they want to join the Union lines. They go into the Union lines. They're actually sapper spies that are supposed to set off explosions before the main assault kicks off.
That's the worst.
Saboteur.
Worst attempt at being a spy ever. What the fuck? We're out of this army. Screw it. I'm done with him. Hey, can I join up with you guys and fight? No, don't worry. I won't tell anybody anything. I don't have any lines of communication back. I don't have a note.
It's fine. Don't even worry about that.
Tell anybody anything. Don't worry about that.
Confederate forces.
Just send a woman.
Just
send a woman.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Send
desperation. Any woman. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. She'll just show her ankles and calves, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we'll tell you whatever you want to know."
All in. Johnny, the Confederate forces are going to be underneath Major General John Gordon, and he's going to launch his attack at the fort. They are able to actually quickly surprise the Federal forces. They're gaining access to the fort itself. They actually seize several batteries and the entrenchments and take about 3/4 of a mile of Federal lines. This is massively successful for them right off the bat. Kind of looking. You might be wondering, why is Lieutenant
That
Tommy
happens.
drinking whiskey then?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is they don't actually, like all the Confederate assaults in 1865 and late 1864, they don't have the men.
Sure. They can't continue to pursue and take more.
They did it.
They're like a like a tiny little spore of bacteria that grew as big as it could possibly get, and there's more out there, but it can't. It's never gonna get it.
It's not. No, it
can't.
can't. No. So they don't. Their attack stalls, and then the Union gets reinforcements. There we go. Union reinforcements rally. They're going to push the Confederates back to the inside the fort. At 7:30 p.m., Federals attack the fort, and by 7:45, the Federals' line is completely restored. The fort's back in Union hands, and Lee is now forced to contemplate retreat from Petersburg because he knows that inevitably he can't shorten up Grant's lines. He's spread way too thin.
That's his best shot.
That was his
right?
best shot.
Is it not? That was just Hail Mary style. This is the best shot. I'm going to give it everything I have, and goddamn it worked until
it doesn't.
I ran too thin, and then I just couldn't do it. And so it didn't in the long run. And then so what are you going to do again? And then what?
Also doesn't help that the Union only lost 1,500 casualties total, and the Confederates lost 4,000. Now most of them were prisoners, but they lost 4,000. They don't have 4,000 men.
Well, I mean, if you lose it to a prisoner, it's not like they can just, hey, can we have them back to try again?
Yeah, that's not.
They're gone. They're out of your army. Yeah,
that's
right.
Yeah, it's not happening. Johnny, on the
their already severely depleted army is even less.
And
they have to try again.
Try again. Hopefully.
Get the hell out of here, Lee.
Yeah.
Go home.
On the 26th,
he didn't want any part of this anyway. Like they talked him into it, right?
Well,
get the hell out of here, Granny.
Well, if you believe the rumors, we tried to talk him into leading our army, and then he said no. But we have specials and shit on that. That didn't really happen that way.
Oh, okay. We've discussed this.
We've discussed that.
There's bugs now. It's getting
and then
warm.
Lee said, I can't turn men on my own country of Virginia or my own people. But then,
that's right. Yeah, all that.
But then,
bullshit.
Trader President Davis was like, "You want to come join us?" And he's like, "Yep, sure do."
And he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna betray my country. What I'm gonna do is fight for them and lose thousands and thousands and thousands of its men."
That might be a good. Yeah, he played the long game. Yeah, maybe. That'd be an interesting thing to talk about and develop. See, was Lee a secret traitor the whole time, and that's why he never had any successful offensive campaigns? And that's why he
literally came into the war, and they called him Granny Lee because he was so bad at life.
Yeah, at the very beginning,
he just ran it everywhere. If you want to start off a war poorly, what do? Is you can run it every chance you get.
That's kind of what he got known as Granny Lee. That's true. Johnny, on the 26th, we've got 32,000 Union troops that are going to be beginning to surround Mobile, Alabama. We talked about this a little bit last week at the start of the whole Mobile campaign. Sheridan's going to link up with Grant, extending Grant's lines even longer, again ensuring that Lee doesn't really have any option but to try to run.
Yeah, so that.
Yep. Lee is going to write to Davis saying, and I quote here, "I fear now it will be impossible to prevent a junction between Grant and Sherman." Already happened. Nor do I deem it prudent that it is my army that should maintain its positions. Or this army should maintain its position. So he's basically saying, look,
so he's
Sherman and Sheridan and Grant, they're all going to link up. I can't stop that from happening at this point. I have to get the fuck out of here to save this army, is what he's writing to Trader President Davis. On the 27th.
Yeah, he's saying, guys, it's too bad. I tried. I failed.
He tried. He failed.
Please, can I go? Can I go home?
He wants.
I'm tired.
Yeah. On the 27th.
I think at the core of it, if we were to really dissect it, it was a dear President Davis, I'm tired.
This war's been
I just
want
to go home.
Way too long. Yeah.
Sincerely, Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee. Yep.
P.S. Name some schools after me in the future. That'd be dope.
A ton, especially in the North for reasons.
A lot of them
in the North.
In states that I never even set
went
foot
into.
In, please.
Oh, and put my face on the side of a mountain on a state that I never once stepped foot in.
That would be great.
Be great. The 27th, Union forces are going to begin enveloping the Spanish fort near Mobile. It's not a Spanish fort, but it's called this. Maybe it was a Spanish fort back in the day. I don't know. It's called the Spanish fort. Doesn't matter. On the 28th,
so is it the first Spanish War? And we will be discussing the second Spanish War in the future. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, maybe.
Break.
Yeah, maybe.
Is this Spanish War 2?
It might be Spanish War 2. On the 28th, Grant, Sherman, and Lincoln are going to meet aboard the River Queen to discuss the final push to envelop Lee. We've got the president. We got Grant. Grant, Lee, all them not Lee, Grant, Lincoln meeting. Like, they know it's the end. What are we going to do to make this the end? They're drawing up the battle plans. This is the final, like, huddle before the final play.
This is the huddle before the kneel down?
Yeah. Grant's,
or before the tush push from the 1 yard line.
Yep. Grant's troops are going to begin preparing to move against Lee. On the 29th, we're going to see the beginning of the Appomattox campaign. The Army of the Potomac and the Army of the James are going to join together in a 125,000 man strong force. Lee can't even muster half of those numbers, and what he can muster, a lot of that's on paper. A lot of these guys
it's people who are like, I'm coming here with 10,000 men, and it's 7,800 men.
Yeah.
It's 10,000-ish.
Yeah, and then there's supply issues where not all of them have equipment, guns. There's food shortages. There's you can barely.
Also remember they are coming out of winter hungry and sick.
Yeah.
And wet, probably because goddamn Springs is terrible.
Springs
and it's
awful.
Been hitting hard, and it's fucking rain everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially down in the fucking swamps of the South.
Oh,
good God.
Ugh. Swamps. Lee can't even muster half those numbers. Like I said, his plan was to try and withdraw from Petersburg and link up with Johnson. That's his only hope of survival, is Johnson's army to link up with Lee. Even if those two armies link up, and even if all their soldiers on paper are effective fighting force, which they're not, they still don't even muster like 2/3 of what Grant has, and that's not even with Grant entirely linked up with Sherman yet either. So
I know it's easier to defend than it is to attack and all that, but not that much easier.
Not that much easier, no. Not when you guys are tired and slow and hungry and starving.
Well, and there's that many too, because that many people. It's not like they're all going to be on one city block.
No,
you know what I mean.
No.
Like
they're sprinters.
It's a big field of battle and tactic and all that.
Lee is a bit too slow at trying to get out of Petersburg, and Grant is threatening his very, very weak right flank. And the week is going to end on the 30th, Johnny, with a whimper. Not much going on, as heavy rains prevent Grant from making his assault towards Petersburg, so we'll have to wait till next week. But odds are looking up.
I told you the rain. I told you.
It's the swampy rain, awfulness. Yeah,
everybody's going to be wet.
We're almost there. We're winding us down.
Let's get it over with next week.
Hopefully. That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. If you enjoy Civil War in Hindsight, check out Historic Hindsight. We do all kinds of fun things. We've got a Patreon where we do behind-the-scenes stuff. I post all kinds of behind-the-scenes videos. There are random gun things that get posted there. Like if you want to know how we determined the United States to go with the 45 ACP because we shot cows, I got that whole study. That's been dropped there, which is kind of fun. I've got a secondary project. Historic Hindsight is expanding. Historic Hindsight Productions presents Your Weird Uncle's Garage, which is, people have asked about like my random collections. That's where you're going to go find my random collections. At Your Weird Uncle's Garage on YouTube. Type that in the search bar.